Hey, welcome back, guys. If Power's third book has shown us anything, it's that Kanan's eventual mentorship of Tariq was much greater than happenstance or even vengeful plotting. Raising Kanan has presented a naive, unseasoned version of Power's greatest antagonist, and there are plenty of parallels between young Kanan and his arch-rival's only son. In today's video, we'll dig deep into those similarities and break down just why that bitter old thug sought redemption through his unofficial heir apparent to the hood throne. Before we begin, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and bell notification to immediately receive these videos. Also, big thank you to all of my channel donors. If you'd like to be the next one, drop $1 on that Cash App for us. And lastly, a spoiler alert is now in effect for all things Power. Here we go. Kanan's journey thus far has been defined by a series of blunders and missteps. He recklessly took the life of Neek's young soldier Buck, partly defending his mom and also securing his current romance with Davina. This action sparked the domino effect that resulted in his best friend and accomplice's death, as well as underworld ramifications for Rock. He purposely threw his entry exam to avoid a life of monotony and boredom, opting to live in the thrill of the streets against his mother's wishes. Then, he foolishly put the stash house in danger by meeting with Davina, who subsequently informed Neek of its existence in exchange for her mother's rehabilitation. The stash house was robbed due to the Greenhorn's transgression of Scrap's timeless warning. Everybody's in the game. The drug house coup forced Rock to haul her entire operation to the high-rises, leading to more chaos in the interim. Speaking of Scrap, Kanan brought more heat down on Rock's organization by starting a fight with her most loyal soldier not bound by blood, which led to both of their arrests and Howard's revelation that he's really Kanan's father, something he later confronted Rock with, much to his potential detriment. Nearly every problem faced this season finds Kanan at its origin, and that's not by accident. After all, the series centers on his upbringing, and the tumultuous process of that rearing runs parallel to his future street pupil, Tariq. We know this, if for nothing else, by Kanan's final assertion in episode 105 during his crack cook-up tutorial, where he stated, quote, "I chose this life." It went deeper than his environment and life circumstances. Kanan made sure to drive home the definitive nature of his decision. This is where the Tariq angle plays a major role. If you take away his affluent upbringing and access to wealth, his situation was very similar to young Kanan's. He required the truth from Ghost and Tasha, similar to Kanan's prodding of the truth from Rock. The difference in their outcomes lied in parental execution of such an honest request. Rock relented early to her son's street whims and began his initiation into underworld life, but on her terms. On the other hand, Tasha didn't make amends with Tariq's criminal leanings until they were outside of her control. And as for Ghost, well, unfortunately, he never did. His vision for his son transcended the streets, even if that's what it took for Tariq to acquire his current life, a contradiction the junior St. Patrick could never reconcile. That denial left Tariq to navigate his path independent of his parents' influence in the beginning, leaving a void that someone who walked in his shoes could only fill. That someone, of course, was a hardened Kanan Stark. But just what did he see in his thorough protege? After what we've been shown, it's easy to surmise that Reek was a son after Kanan's own thuggish heart. He had the smarts to assess situations quickly, the wit to evade danger, and the pure coldness to carry out tasks deemed too deadly for most to stomach. Above all else, Tariq had heart, and that was the connective tissue between the teacher and his pupil. Kanan came to a realization that his youthful anthology has displayed as well. Though possessing both a love for the game and its allure, Tariq was far more advanced than he was at that age. A 15-year-old Tariq would easily run circles around a 15-year-old Kanan, whose ambition outweighed his good sense, at least up to this point. That's not to say Tariq was without his naive faults as well. He definitely committed acts that endangered his family and himself. However, those acts were generally rooted in a manipulative endgame where his personal objectives would be achieved. This doesn't pertain to his murder of Ray Ray, though, as that single event marred his family throughout most of its inevitable destruction. But things like sparing Dre from hired hitters, hitting licks with Kanan's crew, faking his kidnapping, and even slaying the GOAT himself was drenched in self-interest over short-sightedness. Kanan related best to Tariq because he saw the evolution of his former self within the hustler-to-be. Tariq's potential had a hold on Kanan, and it's this commentator's belief that the sparing of his mentee, once crossed during his last stance, was attributed to this observation. Though trained inadvertently by everyone involved in his development, Kanan's direct influence shined brightest and would be the greatest testament to his otherwise grisly legacy. Simply put, Tariq was the hustler at a young age that a young Kanan always wished he was, yet was destined to be, a youthful manifestation of his wildest dreams. In addition to any vengeful schemes, Kanan taught Tariq to help him avoid the many pitfalls he fell into, some of which we've seen and others we're sure to see play out over time. He understood how naivete, ignorance, and under-preparation could come back to bite a hustler in his ass, and saw to it that Tariq usurped these challenges even at the detriment of his beloved cousin Jukebox and, of course, himself. In this context, he did for Tariq what even his own father refused to do. He sacrificed his life. Kanan's origin is a further sympathy builder for Tariq's plight, likely to cast out any lingering hatred against Kemp's new lead in the current Power narrative. But more importantly, it serves to make clear just how mistake-laden a young hustler's journey is despite their aspirations, and to convey that Tariq's many frustrating maneuvers weren't due to any unique internal dysfunctions, but rather something more obvious, an unrealized continuum in which ignorance prevails in youth-driven decisions. And that'll do it for this one. What do you think of Kanan and Tariq's similarities? Be sure to drop me your thoughts in the comments below. As always, I thank you for watching today's video. If you liked today's video, go ahead and drop $1 on that Cash App for us, hit the like button, share it with your friends who are Power fans, and subscribe for more content such as this. This is Rudy P. Magic of Rudy P. Magic Beats, and have a blessed one until the next one. Peace, y'all.